أَمَّنْ هُوَ قَانِتٌ آنَاءَ اللَّيْلِ سَاجِدًا وَقَائِمًا يَحْذَرُ الْآخِرَةَ وَيَرْجُو رَحْمَةَ رَبِّهِ قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ إِنَّمَا يَتَذَكَّرُ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ.
There are virtual acts of wudu, fada'il, wudu. Fada'il are a type of recommendation that are lower in rank and merit than the sunnah. So you have sunnah, you have mandub, and you have fada'il. The fada'il, the plural of fadila, they are recommended acts of wudu, and there are 11, starting by saying Bismillah in your wudu, and performing wudu in a clean space, using the less possible amount of water while maintaining proper washing. The Prophet ﷺ used to make wudu with a mud, which is the amount of water that just fill my two hands, which is just a small water bottle is enough for you to make wudu. So to lessen the amount of water is a fadila and not waste water, but you need to make sure that you properly wash the wudu part. Putting the source of water on your right is a fadila. You're making wudu from a faucet, make sure that your faucet is on your right. If you don't do that, you miss the fadila, but your wudu is valid. Repeating the washing 2 or 3 times, not the wiping. So when you make the wudu, the obligational part is washing the part only 1 time, but when you repeat that 3 times or 2 times, this is fadila, and except for wiping. So you don't wipe your head 3 times, because the hadith of Osman says that the Prophet wiped it 1 time. That's for the Maliki. For Imam Shafi'i, he wiped the head 3 times too. Use beginning with the right limbs before the left. So starting from the right before the left. If you mess that up, you miss the fadila, but your wudu is valid. Beginning using teeth cleaning twig, the siwak or toothbrush before wudu is a fadila. Performing the sunnah act in the order, such as rinsing the mouth before the nose, that's fadila. Performing the sunnah with fard act in the order, meaning you wash your hand to the wrist, your mouth, your nose, before washing your face, your hand to the elbow, and you follow the order that we normally do in wudu, that's fadila. Rubbing in between the toes is fadila. 2. Additional fada'il of wudu are also facing the qibla if that's possible, and this is good for those who are planning wudu area for mosque. Make sure that your wudu area, places where people sit to make wudu or stand to make wudu, they're facing the qibla. This will give them this fadila. Beginning with the top of the limb is also fadila. When you wash your hand from the to the elbow, you start washing from the tip of your fingers to the elbow. Not just you do that, you put your elbow under the faucet. If you do that, your wudu is valid, but you miss the fadila. And then saying the following invocation, the dua, the famous dua after completing wudu, testify that there is no God but Allah alone, who has no partners, and that Muhammad is his servant and messenger. O Allah, make me among those who repent and purify themselves. In Arabic, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم اجعلني من التوابين واجعلني من المتطهرين. And there are also dislike acts of wudu, and which are speaking during wudu is dislike unless if you are returning the greeting of salam. Somebody says salamu alaikum, you make wudu, you return the salam. Unless you are making remembrance of Allah, you're making dhikr, such as responding to the call, you're making wudu, you hear the adhan, it's okay. It's not disliked to answer the mu'adhin or to make dua. Doing more than what is prescribed, such as washing, I say that I want to wash my hand more. I will wash my hand to the elbow 5 times. That's not that's makruh, that's dislike. You're doing more than what the Prophet ﷺ asked you to do, and you are wasting water. Same thing if you're rubbing your, wiping your head 3 times for the Maliki. Wudu validity conditions. So there are, when I do all the sunnah acts, the fara'id, the obligational acts, and everything in my wudu is valid under 2 conditions. The first, and these are the wudu validity conditions. The first is the absence of barrier covering the limbs and preventing water from reaching them during the wudu. I made wudu with gloves. Water did not reach my body. So my hand, part of my hand was not washed directly, so my wudu is not valid. For sisters, I use nail polish. And then I made wudu. The water did not reach my nails, so my wudu is not valid. So that's the first condition of wudu, the absence of barrier. Second, the presence or the occurrence of wudu nullifiers, things that nullifies wudu, we'll see them shortly, such as urinating and deep sleeping. I've made my wudu is valid, but as soon as I pass urine, I go to the restroom and use it, or I pass wind, my wudu is not valid because of the occurrence of a wudu nullifier. So here, what are the triggering acts of wudu and the nullifiers of wudu? There are 14 nullifiers for wudu, which are also the triggering acts of wudu. Some books call them wudu triggering acts, mujibatul wudu, and other books will call them nawaqidul wudu, nullifiers of wudu. They are the same. They trigger your wudu a requirement, or they nullify your wudu, which means that you need to do a wudu again. So there are 14 nullifiers of wudu for the Maliki, and they are organized. They can be they fall under 3 categories. First, ritual impurity, ahdas, and these includes bowel movement, passing wind, passing urine, discharging wadi, discharging madhi. We have seen what wadi and madhi are. Istihada, intermenstrual bleeding, when a woman having a bleeding that lasts more than a regular period of time. These are ahdas. The second category of wudu nullifiers are causes leading to potential ritual impurities. They are not impurities themselves, but they are the causes that can lead to impurities. And these, they call them asbab. And these include deep sleeping. Deep sleeping breaks your wudu for the Maliki. For the Maliki, they did not consider the position of sleeping. If I'm laying down sleeping or I'm sitting sleeping, as long as my sleep is deep, my wudu is gone. But if my sleep is light, my wudu is not gone, regardless I'm laying down or I'm sitting. The difference between light and deep sleeping is that light sleeping, you hear people talking, you hear the sound, you hear the noises around you, but you don't know exactly what they are saying. Or something fall from your hand and you realize that something fall from your hand, this you are lightly sleeping. Deep sleeping, you don't hear people talking, you don't hear noises. If something fall, you don't know. So deep sleeping nullifies your wudu. For the majority, the Maliki, the Hanafi, the Shafi, and the Hanbali, they consider the position. So if you're sitting and sleeping and sitting in the chair, your wudu is valid because you're sitting. But if you're laying down, your wudu is not valid, even if it's a light sleeping. Insanity due to mental illness is also a wudu nullifier. Passing out, intoxication, touching of the opposite gender with sensation or intention, or without intention but resulted in sensation. That's very important. So if you touch a female or a female touching a male, and that touch was intended to have a feeling, the wudu are broken. But if they did not intend to have the feeling, simply the touching resulted in the feeling, in them having feeling, the wudu are broken too. So intended to touch breaks your wudu if you have feeling or not. Touching by accident breaks your wudu if you have feeling, and does not break your wudu if you do not have feeling. This detail is important. Touching the male's private part with the palm and the front and sides of the fingers breaks your wudu for the Maliki. And the third category of wudu nullifiers are neither ritual impurity nor cause to ritual impurity. And these are renouncing Islam, ridda, and doubt. And this is important for the Maliki. Doubting nullifies your wudu. So what is doubt? If you are certain that your wudu was broken, but you doubt that did I renew my wudu or not? Or I know that I made my wudu and I know that my wudu was broken, but I don't know which one was first. All this doubt nullifies your wudu for the Maliki. You don't have wudu, you have to renew it. If you are certain of your wudu, but you doubt that your wudu was broken, if the doubts comes in every day I doubt. There's a lot that every time I doubt, at least one time every day. In this case, you dismiss your doubt and you consider your wudu valid whenever you think so. Otherwise, if it is not always, is occasional doubt, your doubt before praying, your wudu is not valid. You have to make wudu before praying. So, but when the doubt happened during your prayer, you're praying and you remember, did I make my wudu or I did not make my wudu? You have to continue your prayer. It is mandatory that you complete your prayer. You don't break your prayer. You don't stop your prayer as mentioned in the hadith. Then when you finish, if later in your prayer your doubt is gone, or even after the prayer your doubt is gone, your wudu is valid and your prayer is valid. But later, when you finish praying, and then you realize you're still doubting, your doubt persists, it is mandatory for you to perform a new wudu and to repeat your prayer because you don't have wudu. Generally, the wudu nullifiers are divided into agreed upon between the scholars, the madhahib, and disagreed upon. They're generally agreed upon the following. The coming out of something from the two exit places: bowel movement, passing wind, passing urine, discharging wadi, madi, istihada, intermenstrual bleeding. All this, they agree on that. Loss of consciousness due to drunkenness, fainting, mental illness, they agree on that. That's break your wudu. Sleeping, they agree generally, but the majority, the sleeping, the position in which you are sleeping determine your wudu or not. If you're sitting, firmly seated, your wudu is valid if you're sleeping. For the Maliki, it does not matter how you sleep. If your sleep is deep, your wudu is not valid. If it's light, your wudu is valid. So this is a table comparing wudu nullifiers between scholars of the madhahib. These are the disagreed upon wudu nullifiers, what they disagree on. Blood and pus, the coming out of blood and pus, your wudu is, it nullifies your wudu for the Hanafi. Yes, for the Hanafi. It does not nullify your wudu for the Maliki and the Shafi'i. And it nullifies your wudu for the Hanbali if it is a lot, not if it is not a lot. Vomiting, mouthful vomit. Yes, it nullifies your wudu for the Hanafi. No for the Maliki and Shafi'i. Yes for the Hanbali. Saliva mixed with blood, yes, for the Hanafi if it is a lot, no if it is not a lot. No, it does not nullify your wudu for the Maliki and the Shafi'i. For the Hanbali, yes if it is a lot, no if it is not a lot. Laughing loudly in your prayer. You're praying and you're laughing loudly, it nullifies your wudu for the Hanafi only, because there is a weak hadith in that. And it does not nullify your wudu for the other madahib. Apostasy, renouncing Islam, does not nullify your wudu for the Hanafi and the Shafi'i, but it nullifies your wudu for the Maliki and the Hanbali. If somebody renounced Islam after he had wudu and took his shahada back again, he does not have to renew his wudu for the Hanafi and the Shafi, but for the Maliki and the Hanbali, he has to renew your wudu. Doubt your wudu, you doubt your wudu as we have seen. Do I have wudu or not? For the Maliki, your wudu is gone. For the remaining scholars of the Madhahib, your wudu is valid. Doubt does not nullify your wudu. Touching the opposite gender does not nullify your wudu for the Hanafi, nullify for the wudu for the Maliki if you intend feeling and you find it, or not find it, or you did not intend feeling but you found feeling. This will nullify. If by accident you don't have no feeling, it does not nullify your wudu. For the Shafi'i, touching a woman, opposite gender, nullifies your wudu. Here is touching a mahram, a woman that you can marry, your wife or any other woman that you can marry. The Hanbali is like the Maliki, touching with intention or sensation, nullify your wudu. Or without intention and no sensation does not nullify your wudu. Touching private part does not nullify your wudu for the Maliki, for the male's private part. It does not nullify your wudu for the Hanafi, and it nullifies your wudu for the Shafi. For the Shafi, even a woman private part touching the private part nullifies the wudu. Eating camel meat, and this is maybe strange to some people. Eating camel meat nullifies your wudu for the Hanbali because of the hadith. And again, you can go to the book, the Bulugh al-Maram, the book of hadith of fiqh that is attached to this class, and check all the dalil of the scholar, the hadith that they have. For the Hanbali, it nullifies your wudu if you eat camel meat because of the hadith, but for the majority, it does not nullify your wudu, and they have an answer to the hadith. So, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.